Hi, today I'm going to be having a conversation with Krishana Harden, the teacher that I observed at Calloway Smith 8th grade science class. And the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go over her observation paper, just going over a few things that I observed. First, we're going to look at equitable learning environments. Has differentiated learning opportunities. I said that was somewhat evident. Um, has equal access to classroom discussions. That was evident. Knows the rules and consequences are fair, clear, and consistently applied. That was evident. And has ongoing opportunities to learn about their own and others' background, cultures, and differences. And I said that was evident. A lot of the activities that you had, you can tell that this was information the students had already previously went over. And you can tell by their behavior that they had already been, pretty much trained. High expectation environment, knows and strives to meet high expectations established by the teacher. That was evident. Is tasked with activities and learning that is challenged but attainable. That was evident. Provided examples of high quality work. That was evident. Engaged in rigorous coursework, discussion, and tasks. A lot of the activities that you have with your students, you all were engaged in discussion.
Okay.
Ask and responds to questions that require higher order thinking, such as applying, evaluating, and synthesizing. And I said that was evident. Supportive learning environment. That section was just talking about was a learning experience positive, and it was very positive. The attitude of the students and your attitude takes risk in learning. Provided support and assistance to understand content and accomplishment tasks. I saw at one point you had a video to kind of let the students have a visual of what you were talking about. Provide additional/alternative instruction and feedback at an appropriate level to challenge his or her needs, and I said that was evident. The next section was active learning environment. Has several opportunities to engage in discussion with teacher and other students. Makes connections, real life experiences. I think I did see a couple of real life experiences. You asked them to come up with their own way of showing kinetic energy. Is actively engaged in learning activities, and the students were engaged. The next section was progress monitoring and feedback. It says it's asked/quizzed about individual progress/learning. You throughout the lesson continuously ask the students questions just for comprehension purposes. Response to teacher feedback to improve understanding. The students were very responsive to the questions that you asked. Demonstrates or verbalizes understanding of the lesson/content and understands his or her work is assessed. And the students were informed that they were going to be assessed on that skill later that week. Well-managed learning environment. The students were well behaved. You can tell that the rules had been gone over. Transition was very smooth. Students, now that was the one. Oh, collaborates with other students during student-centered activities. You all didn't really do any centered or pairs working that day, so I just put not observed. Knows classroom routines, behavioral expectations, and consequences. That was evident. Digital learning. This section was just trying to see if you incorporated technology or any type of digital tools, and that was evident. Some things that I noted. I just put that student started the day off with bell work that consisted of 3 questions pertaining to potential and kinetic energy, and you had that was through the use of the whiteboards. Teacher reads several statements about energy. The students put a KRP. Okay, so this is the suggestion that I was putting as an activity, like to get your students more engaged. Some of the questions that you asked, like say you had a couple of kinetic examples and a couple of potential examples, and you kind of like read them out to the class and gave everybody like a whiteboard or something, like a dry erase board, and then after you read the statement, they could write on their whiteboard a K if it was kinetic, or write a P for potential. And that way you could observe around the classroom who has it and who didn't have it. Another example that I put, these are some examples that I used inside the video that you watched. Another one was 4 corners. And if you don't have 4, by you having middle school, it isn't, you all don't do that much moving because there's not that much space inside the classroom. But this is just an example. For instance, you would use 2 corners, 2 corners of the room if you didn't have that much space. One corner would be for kinetic and the other corner would be for potential. And kind of like the same thing with the whiteboard, you would read an example of kinetic and potential, and then those people that thought that it was kinetic, they would move to that side of the room, and the people that thought it was potential would move to the other side of the room. Teacher will call out different energy transformation examples, and the students will move to the corner to demonstrate their choice of answer. I did see that you, another example would be an exit ticket. Students would have to give the teacher an energy transformation example before exiting the door. I observed that a video was shown and students gave a worksheet that were given a worksheet that goes along with it. Bell work questions may need to be a little more complex.
Bell work.
Yeah, the bell work. Because sometimes the students, if it's just kind of simple, they finish it really fast, and then you have them just going off on doing other things. Before a test, it may be good to have a review game or let the students pair up and work with a partner. An example would be think, pair, share. Students discuss examples of potential and kinetic energy. And the last thing I noted was great classroom management. Anything you want to say?
No, I like the 4-corner idea. I never heard of it. Those are some good strategies and techniques that I need to use in my classroom.
But how would they work really with the middle school kids? Because, you know, I've been in the elementary setting for a long time, but I know some of the examples that I put may not necessarily work for the middle school students.
Well, the thing is, you just have some classes you can do it and some you can't. But I think there's some good ideas. I do have some dry erase boards that I can get to the students. We do those activities sometimes, not as often as we should. So I have to incorporate those a little more. But secondary, I think it'd be okay. You just have a few classes that you probably can't do it with. But I think it'd be fine. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
It was nice observing you.
Thank you.